your host this morning. Today, our first stop will be it's an unofficial stop, so it'll just be a quick stop, a drive-by more like it, by one of our World Cup stadiums, Stadium 974. From there, we'll proceed to our first official stop, which is close to the harbor. Now, Qatar is actually located halfway down the Arabian Peninsula on the western side of the Asian continent. Now, we've just turned right onto our Ras Abu Abud highway. So again, as I mentioned, all of this entire stadium was made out of recycled shipping containers. And it looks outright extraterrestrial with all of those discs. Ladies and gents, this is the National Museum of Qatar. The architect behind this fantastic architecture is a famous French architect, Mr. Jean Nouvel. He was inspired by something that's found here in the desert. It's a mineral called the desert rose. Now, this was opened to the public in 2019, and it cost just over $434 million to build. Refurbished Doha port. What is the Mina district? It's pretty much a cluster of 37 mixed-use and very brightly colored, pastel-colored buildings. Lots of retail spaces, lots of cafes, restaurants. In my opinion, I think it's the best vantage point to enjoy the sunset. You have absolutely spectacular and unobstructed views of the Flag Plaza is a collection of 119 flags. From where? Well, countries that have diplomatic relationships with this. A female Lebanese artist, and her name is Najla Al-Zaid. Well, what are these rope-like structures? Pretty much 313 meters of hand. And according to the artist, it is actually there to provide an immersive experience for the visitors of the Flag Plaza, stacked on top of each other. So, ladies and gents, this is the Museum of Islamic Art. On the Louvre Pyramid in Paris, France, as well as being the brains behind the National Gallery of Art in Washington, D.C. This is actually considered one of his very last works. He actually came out of retirement. So these boats are sometimes called dough boats, sometimes they're called dhow boats, but these are the traditional boats that have served the people who have lived on this peninsula for hundreds of years. What were they used for? I have to be honest, for things people use boats for. For example, inshore fishing, deep sea fishing, ocean voyages. But here in Qatar, they use them for one more thing. Pretty much the backbone of the economy during the pre-oil centuries, and that's pearling. These boats were used for pearling, and pearling was pretty much the backbone of the economy before we had oil here in Qatar. Now we're heading to the Souq. The Souq is on our left, and I'll tell you all about the Souq. So the Souq that we're heading to is called Souq Waqif. And now, because the Souq was so close to the water, it almost looked as if the Souq was standing on water. It was almost floating, right? That's why they started calling it the standing market. So that's why we have the Souq Waqif. Here in Arabia, we only have the single-humped camel. We also call him the dromedarius. Now, contrary to what most people believe, the humps of camels, they actually don't store water.
भाई ये भी देखना था। देखो, कुछ बोलो मेरे दोस्तों को। हाँ? They don't like you? You don't like them? भाई कतर के अंदर आके
you'll notice it on their joints and that area.
दिखा लो।
As soon as you enter, you're going to smell the entire world. Why? Because we have
Souq Waqif में खड़े हैं, also called spice market, standing market. लेकिन majority of the shops are closed because it's a prayer time. So we should have come earlier. आपको यहाँ पे मुख्तलिफ़ किस्म की चीज़ें मिलेंगी, जैसे आपको ज्वेलरी मिलेगी, आपको बच्चों के खिलौने मिलेंगे, artisanal stuff मिलेगा, and then you will get some Qatar based items. तो अगर आपने लोकल शॉपिंग करनी हो तो do come visit Souq Waqif. आगे चलते हैं। ज़्यादातर दुकानें बंद हैं क्योंकि इस वक्त प्रेयर टाइम है, लेकिन फिर भी कुछ दुकानें खुली हुई हैं। And this market is so big and you can walk all the way through this market. You have different coffee shops, you have restaurants also available if you want to eat kebab or any of the Arabic cuisines.
He's the son of Hammad. Quick FYI, all those beautiful camels that we saw at the camel stables, twice a day they trek all the way down to this field and they parade twice a day. Ladies and gents, if you look to your right, we will be driving past the FIFA World Cup countdown clock. Now, continuing on our right, up island, and on that island you see this little white pinched structure. Now, what looks almost circular from here, do keep an eye on it, because as we are driving down the street, it will turn into an infinity symbol, one of the symbols of the FIFA World Cup, and then it will undo itself once we get all the way around to the other side. For a moment, if I can steal your attention, if you look to your left, you have another interesting building with slightly dated architecture. Looks like it's out of the 70s. Well, that's exactly when this building was built. Initially, it was home to the Ministry of Interior, and now it is the home of the Net Hotel, one of only 3 locations in the entire world. So we have a Net in the United States, in the United Kingdom, and then here in Doha. Now, again, if I can steal your attention again, to your left, you'll notice another beige structure with lots of seating available. Now, this is sometimes called the Mary Grant's National Day Parade, which is held in the month of December. So if you look to your right, you'll see a very sporty oryx. You can wave hi to him. This is a beautiful sculpture work of a very famous American artist, Mr. We have, I think, the second largest populations of with the jester hat. Layover was the mascot of the 2022 FIFA World Cup held here in Doha. So we've just entered the West Bay District. Now this district is pretty much the realization of the Father Emir's vision. Now, you'll probably say, you know, it looks like it was built to look very, very modern during the time that it was built, but now it kind of looks a little dated. Well, it's true, because this is actually the Sheraton Hotel, ladies and gentlemen. A picture of Doha from the 80s and the 90s, even the early 2000s, you'd probably only see. It was also used to host the 2006 Asian Games. Now, to our left, we're just driving past the JW Marriott, which is actually attached to the city. Great archaeologist. So I've actually studied accountancy, he knows that. And I work as a tour guide. You would think that. No idea? Well, according to him, I'm apparently very good at digging up old things. About city center, I always mention, you know, when I first came here 10 years ago, it was under construction. It was not entirely under construction, but there were several other malls all across the city, and the entire city was under construction. So it was always a little amusing. Why? Because the city malls are built with a very different purpose. They're not just retail spaces. They are actually designed to be. How does that work? So, if my kids, you know, if they come over and they tell me, well, Mom, we want to go tobogganing down a snowy hill, or if they want to enjoy snow in the middle of July, all I need to do is throw them in the back of my car and head on over to Doha Festival City, where we can spend an entire afternoon making the perfect snow angels. That's the kind of malls we have here. So now, if my guests were to ask me, well, see this very, very tall freestanding arch? Well, it's one of the tallest. It is the tallest. This is the 5-6 arch. And it actually represents, it's an interesting name, 5-6. It actually represents a very important date relationships. We're arriving at our final stop, which is the Qatar. I'll give you the opportunity. As a cultural beacon, a lighthouse of art radiating throughout the Middle East. If I can have statues of the Arabian oryx. Are you familiar with the Arabian oryx? Well, it is the national animal of this country. It's a symbol since you met me. So, let me tell you all about it. This animal truly has a remarkable story. So, did you know the oryx is actually the oryx? So, let's get to the remarkable bit. So, in the 1970s, this animal was almost hunted into extinction. So, the Flora and Fauna Society, the British Flora and Fauna Society, along with local authorities, what did they do? They came in and they captured the last remaining oryxes. What they do after that? They sent the oryx off on a all-expense-paid honeymoon. Well, what does that mean? They pretty much started a breeding program. So, on your left, you can see these Scandinavian-style cottages. Now, these are very, very expensive little cottages that you can rent from the Katara Hills, one of the newest resorts we have here at Katara. And do you know how much they cost? So a few weeks ago, I got a fabulous offer from the Katara Hills, offering me a night here for just barely 6,000 Qatari riyals. That's close to just under $2,000 a night. We've just turned here. We have full murals on display.
Okay, so now the younger generation, they tend to not wear it. I think it's easier to just wear a wedding ring than to wear a metallic leather mask on your. I thought you'd want to take a selfie there.
No.
Oh.
Not interested in selfies or other videos.
Telling you the truth, and this is a real amphitheater, similar to the Colosseum in Rome. So when you look at the architecture around you, when you look at it, we'll be going to a different location and not back to the bus. You're going to be walking past Relief. And once you walk past it, you'll understand what I meant. Did you get it? You felt the cool breeze, the air conditioning, there's a relief. He's the work of a very famous American artist, Mr. Lorenzo Quinn, and she is there to remind us we need to be on the right side of the force. Are called pigeon towers. Any idea why they call them that? Exactly. We are simple people, not complicated. Right? So these are called pigeon towers because pigeons hang around in there because they're made for them. Wow. She was inspired by very traditional Turkish mosaics. The interior of this mosque is actually managed by the same company that manages the Doha Palace interiors in Turkey. Now, actually, just before the World Cup, something really. So I'll just start with some common questions that I get, and then if you have other questions, you can address them with her, and I'll try to. I'm not an expert; she is the expert.
Well, that's pretty much it from Doha. I'm gonna sign off. See you in the next one.